Breaker 19, Breaker 19, this here's the Gear Jam and Deer. Whitetail's got your front door, come on. Now, a couple weeks ago, I managed to find time to get into San Francisco. I've been waiting for a load going west, and I finally got one. So, while it was out there, I just happened to have time that I could take a 34-hour break, so I went ahead and rented a pickup truck from U-Haul and drove into San Francisco. So this video is going to be consisting of footage that I took from that trip. I've got footage driving into the city over the Golden Gate. I went to Fort Point and looked around there. I went to the Hyde Street Pier, which I believe is considered a national park. But they've got a bunch of old ships there that you can go walk around on. I actually ended up going to Alcatraz, so I got some footage and videos from Alcatraz. And then I went and just drove around a bit. You know, driving up and down the hills. I went down Lombard Street. And then I left going over the Bay Bridge, which I also recorded. So, I know this is a very long video. It was mostly recorded for my friends and relatives, so that instead of sending them a bunch of pictures, I could just send them the link to one video, and they could see everything that I saw. But I figured I'd upload it publicly, so that if any of my viewers want to see it, you guys can too. If you want to just see the driving stuff, obviously it's going to start with driving into San Francisco, but then once I've gone over the Golden Gate, it's going to be a bunch of sightseeing stuff. If you skip to about an hour through the video, then you'll be back to the driving stuff. I'll probably link I'll probably link the timestamps. I'll have like a table of contents in the description for each site that I stopped to see. So, all that being said, if you're interested in the sightseeing stuff, please enjoy it. I had a really good time. I plan on going back at some point. There's still some stuff I'd like to see, and I'd like to be able to I'd like to, be able to take, like, my brother, for example. I'd like to experience this stuff with somebody, but anyway, there are other sites around the city that I'd like to see. Probably mundane stuff for most people, but I really like the city of San Francisco, so I want to see everything. But anyway, if you enjoy the sightseeing stuff, let me know in the comments, and I'll, record more sightseeing stuff as I go and see sites. If you enjoyed just watching me randomly drive around, let me know. I really wish. I'm using my laptop as a phone stand, basically. Oh, no, see, even my phone screen is recording off. I'm getting distracted. Anyway, long video. It's because I was enjoying seeing the sights around San Francisco and didn't want to cut any of it out. So, if this isn't your sort of video, click off. If it is, please enjoy. And Past Me is going to take over after the intro. Thank you. Yeah, so suddenly regretting doing this during rush hour. Maybe should have thought that through better. Man, look at this road. I don't imagine it was always 4 lanes. I can't believe they managed to squeeze all these into here. Maybe it was. This doesn't look like an incredibly new tunnel. Oh, there it is! You can't see it through the light. There. God, this is exciting. I've wanted to drive across the Golden Gate Bridge since I was about 8. it is 3 lanes each direction. Video games can't seem to agree on that, so I was always curious. Kind of a shame it's so cloudy. Oh, the bikes. Why should I get a clear day driving into San Francisco? It's just like the first time I went into New York City. Coming in and it was frickin' pouring down rain. I couldn't even see off the edge of the bridge. There it isn't. Once again, it's not on the camera, but that doesn't matter because all I can see is cloud anyway. Does not mar my mood. I just drove over the Golden Gate Bridge. Tolling, do not stop. Alright, well, I have my GPS set on the bridge, so let's see if I can find my way into the actual, like, downtown now. Or should I stop at Golden Gate Park first? Maybe I'll do that on the way back. Oh, I guess I'm getting off anyway. Oh, whoa, there's San Francisco. Hey! Okay, so coming off of the Golden Gate Bridge isn't accurate in any game I've ever played. I've probably played like 7 or 8 different games that take place in San Francisco. And I don't think coming off the Golden Gate looks like that in any of them. Except maybe Watch Dogs 2? I haven't messed around the Golden Gate much in that game. I don't remember what it looks like. Okay, we're stopping in the tunnel. Cool tunnel. Guess I should find somewhere to stop and figure out where I actually want to go now. it's an impressive looking building. That looks like somewhere that might have a parking lot. Why would you just sit there with your door open? There's no way to lose a door. Do not enter except bicycles, I see. What I'm going to do is borrow this person's driveway for a second. Alright, well, I am in San Francisco. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop my recording and figure out where I'm actually gonna go. I wanna go see the wharf, and I'd like to see if you can get to like the base of the Golden Gate so you can get a good view of it. Probably use that in, no, I have a different idea for the thumbnail. But, you know, it'd be cool to have a picture of the Golden Gate that I took myself anyway. But I'll be back in a bit. I don't know how much of that will have been cut out anyway. Does anybody know what Waymo is? Look at all the gadgets on that car. I'm guessing it's something self-driving-y? Alright, so some of this video is going to end up being sort of a clip show. There were certain places where I was like talking to my brother while I was walking around, so I took pictures instead of recording, and I'll do voiceover like this. This is just some pictures I took around the Golden Gate. Alright, so the first real stop I've made, I'm at the fort under the base of the Golden Gate Bridge. That's using under your camera. All the signs say Fort Point. I thought it had a different name, but I guess it's Fort Point. But it's open to the public. I didn't realize that. And you can even go up to the top, which I'm about to do. So, it is incredibly cold in here. Search color and exhibit.
By order of the Secretary of War.
Hi. Can't help but feel like I'm going the wrong direction. This is insane. Windows broken. I don't intend on going through the entire fort. San Francisco and Alcatraz. I'd like to go to Alcatraz, but I don't think I'm going to have time to today. I did not realize that the whole fort is open to the public. This is so cool. Chris Moldova would have liked this. You know, I'm just gonna go to the top. That'll be the best view, won't it? Up at the top. It's also gonna be incredibly cold. I'm thinking I probably should have brought my sweatshirt. I don't know what the wind noise is gonna do either, so. My hat. It's actually not as cold up here as I thought. God, I could spend a week in San Francisco and probably not see everything I'd want to. I'm guessing this is how they originally got to the top of the tower. This is so cool. I'd like to take this time to apologize for my shoddy camera work. I was focusing more on seeing stuff myself than making sure the camera saw it necessarily. I'd also like to apologize for all the wind noise. Obviously, there wasn't really much I could do about that at the time. I didn't realize it was so bad. I suppose I gotta go down the spiral staircase, don't I? God, this is... I'm so surprised this is just open to the public. I cannot see anything. Got my sunglasses on. Oh, it's even steeper here. Whoa. Forgot there's this extra bit of the building that juts out over here. Also, everyone is trying to find parking up at the top of the hill and around the other side of the bridge post and everything. And look at all the parking there is here. And this is free parking, as far as I can tell. You know, all the other ones are parking lots for the beach, so it's all day paid parking. That's where I was looking too, because I was going to park the truck and walk, but I probably want to get a little bit closer to the actual city before I decide to try to park somewhere. Alright, well, that's Fort Point and the Golden Gate Bridge anyway. I'm gonna delve deeper into the city, see if I can get towards the wharf. And I'll be back with you when I'm there. Alright, so at this point, this was when I called my brother because I wanted to tell him about the fort. So I took some pictures of cannons for him because he likes guns and such. And then went to walk further into the city. And that's where I saw some of this other stuff. Just some cool sights. I saw this really funky looking house, so I took a picture of that. And I thought the sign was funnily detailed. There was an old train tunnel that was all creepy looking. A scary tree. My mom likes scary trees. Alcatraz. I ended up going to that. That's a, well, I'll talk about it more in a minute. Yeah. I'll let these run through pretty quick because there's nothing especially interesting. And then these, I'll go into more detail with these in just a second. Alright, so I've made it to the wharf. There's actually I guess it's a museum technically, but it's a ship museum. There are old sailing ships, and there's a ferry I'm about to walk on, an ancient ferry that's got a bunch of cars from the 20s in it. So, I've actually been talking to my brother while I was walking around the streets, and I'm planning on calling him back, but I wanted to record going through the ferry because it's got a bunch of old cars in it. So I'm going to record this, and then after this, you'll have seen there have been like picture show segments before this. I'm going to take pictures of everything else, but I can't record on my phone while I'm talking to my brother. So I'm going to record walking through the ferry, and then I'll take pictures of everything else that'll be in the video as well. You might have noticed I'm not sure what I did with my sunglasses. They're either in my pickup or I left them at the pizza place that I went to. I'm not sure which. But yeah, so I thought it was a riverboat, and then I got on it and it was a ferry. Make sure I'm zoomed out all the way. And some of the cars have like descriptive plaques on them. So this is a GMC. It's I think it was a 1928. Chevy, look at the doors on this thing. I don't even think they have, oh, they do have latches, look. Right there on the A pillar, or B, how many pillars does this have? Hold on, A, B, C, D, E. Right there on the B pillar, you can see the latch. That's, then we got some Dodges over here. I guess I'll walk to the back on this side and then walk back up the other side. I wonder if they used ferry boats, like this design of a ferry boat, before cars even existed for moving carriages. Oh, do not climb on or touch the tractor. That's a shame. I think I know what this is for. Because didn't back in the day, before they had tugboats, they used tractors to pull ships in, didn't they? Or maybe it's just for pulling these wagons around. I'm not sure. Huh. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at things myself. I'm sorry if the footage isn't the greatest. Okay, so what type of truck is this? Oh, this is a Ford. So you got a Ford in the back and a Chevy in the front, or a GMC in the front. Oh, look at that thing, that's funky. It's a big truck. Oh, this is pretty. Since there's no one on here, take my mask down so it stops fogging up my glasses. Doesn't have anything anywhere that tells what this car is. It is pretty, though. Oh! That's a Mac! I'm trying to see... Oops. Trying to see what the logo says. I can't see it. Oh well, that's something. I'll give you a quick look at what else is over here. Oh, that's an old tugboat. There's a big sailboat here. Oh, there is a paddle boat. Cool. It's like $15 to get in here, by the way. You can go on all these ships. So this is an old Mac. This one has a plaque. What year is this? Oh, the face is gone. This is gonna be old though. This is 20. Huh. Cars sure were sparse back in the day, weren't they? Doesn't even have a speedometer. I guess, how would you hook that stuff up? It was literally a carriage with a motor on it. What is this one? Oh, Model A. Huh, Model A box van. Or like, I guess it was a panel van. I wasn't expecting there to be an actual person in there. He scared the shit out of me. This is a steamship, by the way. Huh. Oh, there you go. I'm guessing it's one of those. Go ahead and show all these so you can pause it and read them if you want. I'm not really much of a ship expert. Whoa. I hope I'm getting all this on camera good. Oh! Okay, it is a paddle boat. Huh. Looks like the wheel's all torn up. I walked past the port one and didn't even notice it. A Studebaker. And this truck is a Diamond T. I didn't know they made pickups. I didn't know they were that old, for that matter. And a Nash. The camera, I'm expecting it to be wider angle than it is. I gotta put my mask back on. And this is a better look at the GMC. Anyway, so yeah, I thought the ferry with all the vehicles on it was insanely cool. So I figured I'd record walking through this. I'm gonna go up top and take pictures of that part of it. But it'll be a picture show for a while, and then I'll probably have some more footage later on looking at different things. So, I'll talk to you later on. Okay, so starting from the top, literally, this is the top, I believe it was the top of the boiler on the river ferry. Not really the best picture, but I thought it all looked cool. And then this, I believe, was supposed to be looking at that huge beam where the wheel was that I showed on the one plaque. Unfortunately, I didn't realize when I took the picture, but all you really see is the reflection off of the glass. So, oh well. This, apparently back in the day, river ferries had restaurants on them. So that surprised me. So I took a picture of this plaque so you can read it, and you know, it has like the original menu on it and everything. It's like, that's insane to me, because you know, I've been on a modern river ferry and they're just not nearly that fancy. I didn't mean to go to the next picture yet. Okay, so this was the smaller of the two sailing ships. As you can see, CA Thayer. Like I said, you can go on all of these ships, but I didn't spend much time on this one because they have all the below decks areas closed off right now. So you could pretty much only go on the main deck of this boat, but I did see this is the gearing system for pulling the anchor up. And, I mean, you have the fire hydrant for scale. These things are just massive. And then this was as close as I could get to the wheelhouse, which was kind of disappointing. But, oh well. And then in the middle, we had this little tiny paddle steamer that you actually could not go on. That one was blocked off. I guess it's still mid-restoration. You can see there's all sorts of stuff laying down here, and that step down doesn't look particularly safe, so I can see why they're not allowing visitors onto that boat right now. And here's just it from a different angle. And then we had the big boy, Balclutha. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Unfortunately, I don't remember what I read about this boat, but I want to say both of these sailboats were late 1800s boats. But this one you could actually go on and see a little bit more of. So this was the anchor. I was just taking a picture of this for the scale. These anchors are ginormous. Like, I could have laid on this right here. I tried to point it out with my finger as if you could see it. This was pretty much standing in the same spot, but looking back across the entirety of the ship. This was a bell. The bell did work. It was so funny, because I saw the bell and I went over to it. I was on the phone with my brother. And I was like, I wonder if the bell still works. Boom! Yep, still works. And then, of course, there were 3 or 4 kids up here, looking around. So the bell, they heard me ring the bell, and of course, they all run over to the bell and each had to take turns ringing the bell. So the rest of the time I was on the ship, that bell was ringing. It's like, oh god, look at what I just started. So this was inside the chart house. You can see down here. Pretty nice little, let me see, you might have been able to see the chart house is that building. That was the chart house. So this is inside of that building. Looks a lot bigger when you're up close to it. And this is the, I'm not sure if it would technically be called the wheelhouse. I guess it still is. It struck me as interesting that it was facing backwards. I don't know much about, old steam or old sailboats, so I imagine this was a thing, as you couldn't really see forward. As I said to my brother as I sent him this picture, this would be the view from the wheelhouse if it was facing the right direction, quote unquote. Can't really see anything, so I guess it makes sense that it's facing backwards. This was standing beside the chart house, which is what was blocking the view in the previous picture, by the way. And this is standing on the deck of the ship. Took a picture of Alcatraz because I was closer to it. And there's the floating Golden Gate. Because, I mean, doesn't really look like a suspension bridge with all that fog over it, does it? I'd wanted to get a good shot of the city skyline, but obviously there were masts in the way. But I tried anyway, it didn't really work. That is the same tugboat that you saw in the clip from being on this is the ferry boat here, so I had been standing, like, here when I showed you the tugboat from the other side. This one, you could go on. There was actually a park ranger closed it right as I was getting down off Balclutha, but I didn't really want to go on the tugboat anyway. I didn't think it would be that interesting, because you'd just be able to walk around the lower deck and that'd be it. And then this was standing against the opposite. Where was this? I guess this must have been from on Thayer. I went back to Thayer to see if I could get a better picture of the skyline, but the elevation wasn't right for this picture. But still a pretty cool pic. This street, I'd come down back off the boat, so I was going towards the entrance to the park, and I was just like, good lord, this road goes straight up into heaven. And when I'd first seen the road, there were actually the trolleys. Well, you can see one up there. So, and, there's a water wheel paddle for the paddle boats. Yeah, I was looking at, there's a map right at the front. I was looking at the map, looking at all the different things, and I saw paddle. I didn't remember seeing it, and I turned around and I was like, oh, hey, a paddle. Alright, so this is moving on. I left I forget what the park was called, and I also forget what pier it was on. But I'd left that and was walking further down towards Pier 39. And along the way, ended up coming across a car meet. So this car was just rolling in. Beautiful Chevelle. But there were also some lowriders. There was this Buick that I forget what the model was. It said on the back wing, but I forget what it was. And then the Chevy Impala. And there was also this Camaro in the back that I didn't actually realize was a lowrider. I got a picture of that later on, because the Buick and the Impala were gone when I came back past here, but the Camaro was still there, so I took a picture of the Camaro later. But, yeah, they just had it sitting with the hydraulics gone like that, so I thought that was pretty neat. Oh, and then I ended up walking past this car later on. I wanted to get a picture of it from the front, but it had pulled up to a red light, and this bicyclist rode up and stopped right beside the car in my shot, and then when the light turned green, the cyclist was pacing the car the entire time as it went past me. So that was kind of the best picture I could get. I saw a lot of double-decker buses. I took a picture of this one specifically because I was telling my brother that some of them looked like old Russian buses. So I took the picture so I could show him. But I also noticed later on, when I was closer to one, that the steering wheel's on the right side of the bus, which makes me wonder if they're actually from Britain. This was just... I'll be honest, I don't remember why I took this picture. Oh, I remember. Because of the houses on the hill over here. I think I got a closer up one as well. Yeah. Just look at that construction. That's so cool looking. Alright, yeah, so there's the Camaro from earlier. Not sure how I feel about that, honestly. That's not really a car I'd usually consider to be a lowrider. And here is the... I want to say it was like a Chevy Custom Deluxe or something. If you're hearing noise in the background, my truck, I think, just started regenning. The engine's revved up. But it ended up, when I was walking back past that parking lot where the lowriders were, it was in the parking lot. So. Okay, so at this point, I did end up deciding to go to Alcatraz. So I was on the phone with my mom at this point, but this is on the ferry to Alcatraz. I got a really good view of the Bay Bridge. So I took some pictures of that. I finally got my skyline shot. It still wasn't quite the angle I was looking at from the sailboat, but I'd say this is probably a better shot. I just wish it wasn't so foggy. And then, yeah, that's looking back towards the area where I would have been able to see from the sailboat. And I just, took a few more pictures. This was as we were getting close to Alcatraz. Another skyline shot. That was a war boat of some description. That was also on display, but I didn't end up having time to see it because I walked past it the first time. And that's the Golden Gate Bridge, believe it or not. It's another shot of the Bay Bridge. Oh! Who lost a hat? So I decided to come to Alcatraz. There it is. It's very windy up here. And there's the Bay Bridge. The Golden Gate's blocked by the island right now. I haven't decided yet if the tour of the island is going to be video or photo. I'm going to have to communicate with my brother first, because he has always wanted to see Alcatraz, so. but I figured I'd at least record the docking. Beautiful landing, Captain.
Made it.
On your visit of Alcatraz tonight, I'm going to tell you where to go, what to do, what to see, what not to do. We're just going to wait for everyone to get off the boat. Looks like we're almost there. I see some folks looking up here wondering what the gel is going on up here for all these political messages. You'll see them all around the island today. So 50 years ago, just over 50 years ago,
Go ahead and
1969.
shut off the recording for now.
Right, pretty
I'll catch you all
tumultuous
back in a
period,
second.
some might say.
Okay, so this is where I hit Alcatraz. And I want to say I did actually take a video of the boat docking. Why did I say that? So, at this point, my phone was getting close to dying, so I started by taking some pictures of buildings. I'm trying to remember, this was the officers' quarters, is what this building was. This was behind the officers' quarters. And it's standing in the same spot looking the other direction. I'm not sure what that area... This is standing in the same spot looking up. I'm not sure what this area was actually for. It didn't have anything anywhere that said. So this was the building I was in. Like I said, I want to say it was the officers' quarters, and they probably used the building for more than one thing, because that's a really big building. But down back here is where those last few pictures were. Like I said, nothing that I saw said what that area was actually there for, but it was there, and it looked pretty cool. So then, going up the walk, the long walk up the road to the actual prison. I don't remember what this building was. Some other building. There were way more buildings than I would have... I guess back in the day, the people who worked on Alcatraz lived on Alcatraz. So they all had housing and, areas to get together and such like that. But I don't remember what this particular building was. So that's pretty much standing in the same spot, but looking up more towards the prison. Alright, so I'm up the island a little ways now. I've taken some pictures on the way, but my phone is getting close to dying. And I don't know how much I'm going to be able to capture. So I'm going to try to get up to the main prison area and get some footage of that before my phone dies completely, but my Alcatraz footage is probably going to end up being a little bit lacking. I forgot to charge it, or I didn't end up really having time to charge it. Between some of the other things that I've encountered on my journey. Oh. Wow, those are steep stairs.
interesting plants. I wish I had a step counter. Sure, I've gotten a lot of them today. I've gotten enough exercise for the rest of the year. Oh, tree. My commentary might be a little lacking at this point. I'm just a little bit out of it. And I can see why this would be a hell of a place to try to get out of. Unfortunately, I seem to recall there being a mission in Watch Dogs 2 where you got to escape Alcatraz, and it's kind of underwhelming. I don't know what that's for. And from some angles, it would be easy to forget we're in a bay. I'm not looking at my phone most of the time that I'm doing this, by the way, so if the footage isn't very good, I'm sorry, but, you know, it's my first time here, too. Man, I gotta say, I don't really feel like I climbed up a 13-story building just now. Supposedly, that's how high above water level this prison is. It's the equivalent of a 13-story building. Open the lighthouse. I think lighthouses are cool. Big seagulls. Alright. Let's go see the actual cells before I completely die. Ow. What you can do, once this part of the video dies, if I don't get all the footage I want, just boot up Watch Dogs 2. There's a whole big compound over here. Yeah, see, I'd like to take the outer path all the way around too. My phone's definitely not going to last for all that. I need to unfogify my glasses. Standing away from people so I can take my mask off for a second. Hold on. My glasses don't like it when I walk into buildings. Sorry if the footage has been really dark. I accidentally hit something apparently. What do you think all those switches do? Huh. Hey, Damien. I know you're gonna like that. Wow. Yeah, you know, I gotta say, the cell blocks in Watch Dogs 2, I feel like, are pretty accurate. This looks about right. I remember this section of the jail vividly from that mission. It's because it was underwhelming, doesn't mean I didn't struggle with it. What is this supposed to be? Citadel Ordnance Yard and Lighthouse. I guess that's another section of the island. Ooh. Wow, where do you suppose that goes? Obviously, if you want to come and read all this stuff, you can just find your way to San Francisco and take the tour yourself. Excuse me. Thank you. Hello.
How are you doing? Good?
Yeah, I'm doing good.
So, just yourself or you have more relatives with you?
Just me.
Do you need a device or just looking?
Just looking.
Just go ahead.
No bed. Didn't realize the cells didn't have beds in them. I mean, I understand. Oh, that one has a bed in it. So what did you have to do to get upgraded to a cell with a bed, or is most of them just taken out? Oh, yeah, that's what it is. The beds were just taken out. Okay, that makes more sense. Like, I know they're prisoners and everything, but these people are really expected to sleep on the floor? It didn't seem right to me. Oh. So this is what the cell would have looked like. Guess there's no reason to keep all the cells furnished, is there? They're actually... I mean, doesn't feel that horrible, if I'm honest. Not great, but not horrible. Bet you're having a good time, huh? And then my phone did die. Fortunately, I made it through most of the prison before my phone died. But then I kept exploring and ended up finding the firehouse. And they had this old, I want to say it was like a 1928 or something, Diamond T fire truck. And I was like, okay, well, I'm not leaving without a picture of this. So I managed to get my phone turned back on and stay on just long enough to take a picture of the fire truck, and then it died again. But then at this point, I'd seen just about everything. And there was some other stuff I would have liked to take pictures of. But like I said, my phone was dead, so there was nothing I could do about it. But then walking back to the boat, I also found this old pickup. So I did the same thing. I got the phone to start just to turn on just long enough to take a picture. And then, hey, pickup truck. So, all right. So unfortunately, my camera did end up dying. Like I said, I figured that was going to happen. I don't know how good the footage is going to be now. It's after dark. But there is one more place that I can't leave San Francisco without checking out. No self-respecting driver who calls themselves a driver can come to San Francisco without going to Lombard Street, right? So that's where I'm heading now. And then I'll be signing off, or I might wait till I get back to my truck to sign off. I haven't decided yet. But I figured I'd record the whole drive up here because it's, you know, going through some of the hilly part of San Francisco. I mean, this is part of what San Francisco is famous for. Look at that road! Good Lord, it goes up into the heavens. God, this road goes up into the heavens. Yeah, as I was saying, this is what San Francisco's famous for. Or part of it. And once again, I don't know how well this is going to come across on the recording, but this is insane. I feel like I'm putting more weight on my back than on the bottom of the chair. And I feel like this hill's probably going to feel even more like that. Look at... God, I'm in a pickup truck and I was worried about scraping the ground there. It's amazing that motor vehicles are able to do this. This is a steep hill. Cross traffic does not stop. That's a bad place for cross traffic to not stop. When you can't see it. Thank you. So let the one intersection where you really cannot see down the hill be the one where cross traffic doesn't stop. That's smart. Whatever. I did wave to that car, by the way. Still going up. I don't know why it had me go up and around the block instead of just turning left back there, but okay, here we go.
It's not nearly as wide as it is in pretty much every video game I've ever played. I was not expecting that. Oops. Actually, it might be this skinny in San Andreas. Seems like San Andreas is a pretty accurate representation of San Francisco, actually. But I don't think any of them hold a candle to Driver SF. Driver SF is incredibly inaccurate. That was awesome. I don't think any of them hold a candle to God, I can't see over the hood going over these hills. It's kind of scary. What am I trying to say? None of them hold a candle to Watch Dogs 2. I think Watch Dogs 2 is probably one of the more accurate representations of San Francisco in a video game. Based on the small bit of San Francisco that I've driven around. Alright, is this an all stop? Yeah. That being said, I'm going to have to shut off the recording now because I got to go back to maps and set it to, I'm going to go get some food. So, like I said, I don't know when I'm going to do my sign off. It might be driving back to the truck, or it might be when I get back to the truck. Either way, I'll catch you then. I'm back. I decided to keep recording this. These hills are just so insane, and I wanted to get it on camera. God, like, that car actually disappeared under my hood. I had less view of that car than I would have on level ground in my Volvo. Is this unzoomed all the way? Wasn't. I don't know if it's ever been, actually. Oh well. I'll be honest, I never actually touched the brakes there. God, it's just a wall, but it's a road. Guess you see why the parking is sideways on these roads. Oh no, there's actually... God, I would not trust my parking brake on a hill this goddamn steep. Oh, can't see. God. You know, there are people that do this with these sorts of trucks, but they're off-roading, and the trail is about 2 inches wider than the truck they're driving. I cannot, like, I pride myself on being a fairly good driver, but I don't think I could handle that. You know, thinking about it, I guess it should make sense that I'd record this part of what I'm doing, because, you know, this is a driving channel. Not a sightseeing channel. That being said, if you guys like the sightseeing and want to see more, let me know. If this video does well, you know, whenever I stop for a 34-hour break, unless I'm in an incredibly uninteresting place, I'm probably going to be doing some sightseeing. So, oh God. Now I got a road with curbside parking on both sides and traffic coming at me. I gotta say, I kind of wish I had an F-150 right now. These Silverados, I don't think they actually are any wider. They just feel incredibly wide. Don't think cross-traffic stops here. Oh, I would like to get one of the trolleys on camera. That would be cool. Cross-traffic does not stop one way the other direction. I actually would have liked to ride on one of the trolleys, but I sort of ran out of time. I do have a job to get back and do after all. But I'm definitely, at some point in time, I'm going to be coming back to San Francisco, and hopefully with the plan of being to stay for a couple days. You know, rent a hotel and just have more time to go do more stuff. going back down. Oh, there's one of the trains over there. I can't see over the hood again. That is, and I imagine it's even worse in the video because you can't move around like I can with my head. But there were a couple of these hills where that was... Like, imagine driving a lifted truck through here. Imagine driving Sasha through here. I'd be worried she'd ground out. Or bottom out, rather. Hit the ground is where my mind was going with that. No turn on red. That's what I figured. You can usually tell from the layout of the intersection when it's going to be no turn on red. Then you just got to look for the sign. A lot of people with dogs in San Francisco. Or maybe just a lot of people who care for their dogs enough to walk them. Ooh, tunnel. Well, I think we're out of the really hilly area, so I think I might just go ahead and do my sign off here. This is right turn only, isn't it? And I'm turning right here, actually. This is where I'm turning right. That's incredibly convenient. Uh-huh. I spy a McDonald's. Ooh, there's a fire hydrant there. Beep, 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 beep. Currently offering takeout services only. Silly me, I somehow forgot about the Bay Bridge, which is how I'm going back. So, I've already recorded my sign off here in the city. So that'll stand, but I'm just gonna put this in before that. Yeah, back on the steep roads. Oh, I recognize this area from Watch Dogs 2. Holy shit. See? Drive up to some random place and I recognize it. Call me weird, but I actually kind of like driving through cities, just because I don't very often. It's one of those things where if I had to do it every day, I probably wouldn't like it. But since I don't do it every day, it's kind of fun. You know, I said I think Watch Dogs 2 is the most accurate depiction of San Francisco. Trying to think what the least accurate... Well, I guess, objectively, the least accurate would be 18 Wheels of Steel Across America. Or maybe Pedal to the Metal, if that one had it in it, too. I've never played Pedal to the Metal, so I don't know. But of modern games that weren't trying to have a fairly large map on a tiny... my windshield's starting to fuck up. Is it inside or outside? It's cold outside and warm inside, so... Let me see. It is inside. So... Doing that might help. Bridge only, I-80 by Birch. The road is so bumpy, I can't get my fries. Anyway, I was gonna say that the least accurate of the games that I've played that take place in San Francisco. Oh, dude, you just put me right on the bridge. Look at that. It's probably either Rig and Roll, because most of that game's map is fairly inaccurate, or Driver San Francisco, oddly enough. None of them seem to get the Golden Gate right. The Prismadova and I were talking about that earlier. It's like an inside joke among game developers that no one shall get the Golden Gate exactly right. Well, in fact, I think I was talking about that with you guys at the beginning of the video. Excuse me, I'm sorry. It was cool. When I was riding back on the ferry from Alcatraz, you could actually see when tractor trailers were going over the bridge. That was, obviously there was still light. I don't know, it was cool. Would have liked to go see Treasure Island, but I'm tired. I think it's time to get back to the truck. Take a shower and sleep. I definitely would have liked to go check out Treasure Island, but I guess that'll be for next time. Wow, that is a green Porsche. So I believe, don't quote me on this, but I believe that this section of bridge is fairly new. Because I feel like I remember seeing something about it when this was being rebuilt. And it does look like a more modern suspender design. Obviously, you'll have already seen it at this point, but I got a good picture of the Bay Bridge from the ferry. Editing this video is going to be so not fun. Wow. Port of Oakland is a lot bigger than it is in ATS. I really hope they come back to that as part of the California rework at some point. Sorry about all the glare, by the way. My phone camera is probably a little bit dirty. And of course, the truck's windshield is incredibly dirty. I gotta say, this side of the Bay Bridge actually does feel fairly accurate to rig and roll. Yeah, actually. This feels incredibly accurate to rig and roll, surprisingly. Maybe rig and roll isn't as off as I thought, in general. Okay, is that inside or outside? That's actually outside. Oh god, now it's even worse. Dirty truck. Oh, well, that was the Bay Bridge anyway. The only reason I kept recording is because, like I said, this area actually does look quite a lot like what it looks like in rig and roll. And so I might have to go back through San Francisco on rig and roll. I know the city streets aren't the most accurate, but because in that game, you follow 101, and I want to say it's like a 3-lane highway. Anyway, with that being said and out of the way, now back to your regularly scheduled outro. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Like I said, if you like the sightseeing stuff, let me know. I'll try to do more of it when I get the chance. I am planning on doing more driving stuff soon. I just haven't gotten around to getting a new dash cam or getting a GoPro yet. But once I do, I'll find some way to secure it in the truck. I'm thinking like here. And we'll go from there. Anyway, until next time, keep the hammer down, drivers.